Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Ambassador Sports Network. I'm your host, Dalito Kulameka.
I'm Eric Reed.
And I'm Shane Dunkley.
And on today's episode, we have a lot to get into. The softball team currently played a 3-game series versus the Voorhees Tigers where they went 2-1. So we'll touch on that. And then Eric, Jonathan, and Shane, they'll touch on the baseball team's recent outings versus the Wilberforce Bulldogs and the Voorhees Tigers. And then I'll come back up here and me, Eric, and Shane we'll talk about Eric and the overall ASN's NBA awards and our predictions. So without further ado, you ready, brothers?
Yes, sir. True.
The softball team, Voorhees Tigers. They were undermanned or underwomaned. Is that a word?
I think so.
Can I say that? Underwomaned?
Dalito Kulameka coined the
Underwoman, yes. So going into the final week of the regular season, the Lady A's sit at 12-14 overall and 8-10 in HBCU play, placing them at 4th in the HBCUAC conference seeding. Then they got some much-needed rest this past week. On an out-of-conference road trips, they were canceled versus Harris-Stowe State and Cumberland University. So those are 6 hours and 2-hour road trips, respectively, that those girls didn't have to go to. And it was out-of-conference games, so they wouldn't have really mattered this much into the season. And we know, especially with what I'm about to tell them next, this team needs the rest. Because due to personal reasons, Tony Sims is more than likely going to be out for the rest of the season. And then Nicole Tomberlin, she was the first base woman over there. She's also doubtful to play for the rest of the season due to a thumb injury. So going into that Voorhees matchup, the Lady A's only had 9 players available. Nonetheless, they went 2-1 in that matchup, winning the matchup 2-1, like I said, versus the Voorhees Tigers. So, guys, what do you guys have to say about this team going into the last week of the season as we near the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, that really just shows their adversity. As you said, there's 9 players going into a series, not just one game, a series. So these players have to at times get up and then play later that night as they play, earlier in the afternoon. So the fact that they were able to not only play this series but win this series 2-1 versus Voorhees was nothing short of incredible. And even in the first game, they racked off 11 hits, winning the game 8-2. And I don't even want to focus on hitting for this series. I want to give my flowers to Emma Newby, which really has been not even the unsung hero, but the MVP of the season for the Oakwood.
So?
I think so, for the Oakwood Ambassadors.
Hot take.
That is a very hot take.
Hot take.
Literally. Hot take. And maybe it's not a hot take because in the wins that the Lady Ambassadors won, she only allowed 3 runs in 14 innings.
And she had 25 overall strikeouts.
Literally. That's nothing short of incredible. Congrats to the team, but more specifically, Emma Newby. I'll say the best pitcher in the conference.
Another hot take.
I don't think that was that hot.
Hey, no Tony Sims, no problem. These Lady A's went out to South Carolina and they went out and performed. My 3 standout performers were Jordan Howard, who over the series had 11 at-bats, 4 runs, 3 hits, and 3 RBIs. And then next, I have Anna Jones, who had 9 at-bats, 4 runs, 4 hits, and 2 RBIs. And Emma Newby, the pitcher, who had 8 at-bats, 2 runs, 3 hits, and 2 RBIs. This team, with their not only having 9 players, standout performances. They stepped up to the plate, literally and figuratively.
Yes.
They stepped up to the plate and performed at the highest level. Proud of them.
And you want to talk about standout performances throughout that series? I got to look at Mary Faith McCluskey. This is a lady we don't talk about that much, but she's the reliever pitcher. And in that second game, Emma Newby was probably tired, so they relieved her after her first 3 innings. Mary Faith came in, and she had a great showing, in my opinion. Pitched 3 innings, allowing 1 hit, 0 runs, and 4 KOs. So Emma Newby, got the team off to a little bit of an unfortunate start out there. But then Mary Faith filled in, and although the team lost, she still allowed 0 runs and 1 hit. So she did her job. She did what she had to do. And that just leads me to my final point, where it's like the team is rounding into form, going into playoffs, and they're getting much needed rest. But now, with the already thin roster of 11 girls being cut to 9, there are no more subs. A lot of young players are going to be heavily relied on, and the lack of depth, I don't know how that ultimately is going to hold up. Mixed with the youth and the inexperience, I don't know how that's ultimately going to hold up going into the playoffs. So I believe it's going to take a full team effort to get things done. And like you said, Jordan Howard, Anna Jones, they're on track to finish with the best hitting percentage in baseball and softball in hitting percentage in Oakwood history. Excuse me. hitting 514 and 500 respectively.
That's insane.
Those are insane numbers. Shane was telling me, Shane, let the audience know what an average batting average is.
Hey, in the MLB at least, the average batting average for baseball, I don't know about softball, but for baseball is 220, 225, right? And when you're batting 280 or 290, you're considered an all-star. The fact that they're batting 500, that's literally baseball or softball Hall of Fame numbers.
They are
Yeah.
more than doubling the average.
Yes.
More than doubling the average.
And everyone on the team is hitting at above a 290 clip. So I think all but one person. But this team has the firepower. They just don't have the depth that they would need to go on a run. Nonetheless, I believe if the team can play together, ultimately you just gonna have to push off. You just gonna have to push off your rest.
Yeah, and definitely depth will be tested as they go to Wiley University for the final 3 games of the season. And remind me of where Wiley is located.
It's in Texas.
Texas. That's how far is that? Marshall, Texas.
Yeah.
That's like
Got to be
who
like
knows,
8
like
hours,
20 hours,
9-hour drive.
Come on, so they're gonna be cramped in that bus, driving all the way to Marshall, Texas, and times are testy, right? People are waiting for this season to really be over because when you're playing a season with 11 players predominantly through the season, now you have 9. That can't be easy, and it has to be frustrating. So really just hang in, Lady Ambassadors. We got 3 games left, and we got the tournament.
Yes.
And really just give it your all for the remainder of the season because adversity has been the word for this Lady Ambassador team throughout the season.
100%. I agree. Like Shane says, April 18th through the 19th, I'll update the scores once they play in the graphic. They play Wiley Wildcats. And a 3-game sweep in that series would put the Lady A's above 500, not only overall record for the season, but in conference play as well. And that can do a lot for them as they go into the conference tournament. And that tournament is April 25th through the 28th, and the official seeding hasn't dropped. So, but I would assume, it's 8 teams in the conference, 1-8, 2-7, 3-6, 4-5 type of matchups, and then it's double elimination just like it was last year. But I won't speculate too much on that. We'll see what that had to entail for the Lady Ambassadors. Nonetheless, this team has been fighting. This team has been pushing forward. And now we're going to transition over to baseball, and let's see how they've been fighting as well.
We are in April, y'all. The college season is coming to an end, and I'm not talking about academics. The college baseball season is coming to an end, and I can just remember the season starting literally just yesterday.
Yeah.
And with that, for baseball fans everywhere, the MLB is actually starting up, so there's some positives there. But as the season winds down, the Ambassadors look to finish strong as they take a trip up to the beautiful state of Ohio to face the Wilberforce Bulldogs.
08.
Not in this house. And the Ambassadors would put up 30 runs in a 3-game stretch. And Senior Jordan Jennings will put up 4 runs for this series. He's just been an epitome of consistency this whole season. And fellow senior Akari David would put up 5 runs, adding on to his breakout season in his senior year. So that's the good news. Let me tell you the bad.
What's the bad news, Shane? Let me know.
Hold on to your popcorn here, right? Yeah. The Ambassadors gave up 67 runs in 3 games. And
6-7, man.
and all you can do is joke in this situation because that has been a negative stigma, focus on the Oakwood baseball team as the season progressed.
Yeah.
And I just got to ask this. How can the Ambassadors stop the bleeding and end this season on a high note?
That's how you stop any wound. You gotta patch them the holes. It starts on defense. It's been something I've been preaching. Get this Kim on me. It's what I've been preaching since I've been on this show. Our defense has not been the best at Oakwood. Basketball defense has been lackluster. Baseball, as you can see, defense has been lackluster. I'm keeping it straight up and down like 12:30. We just gotta be better.
Yeah.
Plain and simple, we just have to be better. These players, these are collegiate level athletes that have been practicing and training their entire lives to play on this stage and excel. You can't get to that next step if you can't figure it out here.
Right.
You can't figure it out here. So plain and simple, they just have to be better.
It's true. I have to agree with Eric. Our defense has to clean up because we know we have some great offensive players on our team. We play great on offense, and that's in all sports at this school. But we have to clean up that defensive end. Like Shane said, Akari David, 5 runs. Jordan Jennings, 4 runs. We play great on offense, but like we said, we have those defensive lapses. We have those errors, and it helps the team rack up points. In these past 3 games, like Shane said, we've seen the other team, Wilberforce, put up 67 points against us to our 30 points, and that comes down to post late season fatigue, and it just comes down to defensive lapses, and we have to clean up those to be able to succeed. And to answer your question, what do we have to do to stop the bleeding? In order to finish the season strong, we have a game today against Voorhees, and by the time this episode drops, it'll be Sunday. It'll already have resulted, but as of right now, we have to get this win to end the season on a high note.
Yeah,
because we've been on an 8-game losing streak, and we have to clean it up. Go ahead.
And I'm laughing because it's just it seems so easy.
It's easy to say it from here.
We're not throwing the ball.
Right. We're not playing 40 games. We're not doing all that. But I know that for them, they know they have to win this game today and end it on a high note going into the postseason.
Yeah, and ending on a high note is important, but ending the games. Just ending them completely is also something the Ambassadors have to focus on.
Right.
In the last Wilberforce game, the Ambassadors were up 11-2 in this game.
Yep.
And they allowed 21 unanswered and lose 30-13.
Can you do something for me?
21.
And it's just like it's hard to and it's happened multiple times. Earlier against UT Southern and against Voorhees. The Ambassadors have gone up in games, but they just can't finish. And that leads me into the second series against Voorhees. In the second game of the doubleheader, the Ambassadors were up 4-2 late in the innings. Me and Delisa were there. Right? We saw how the Ambassadors went up, the energy was there, the guys were hyped, but like the Wilberforce game, 11 points unanswered. They will lose the game 4-13, and we just got to figure out a way to close out games. And let me ask this one question: how can we translate these late losses into wins as the season ends and we go into postseason play?
You said that we were up 4-2, so we have to keep that same momentum going into the later end of the innings. That's really about it. I know it sounds like we're up here just dogging these guys, but we know the potential. We know that they are great players, and we know they produce well. We've seen it with our own eyes, but we have to finish the whole game. This is a trend with Oakland Sports again. We tend to get up in games and then let the team come back, or we even are losing and then we're trying to work our way back into the game. So we have to clean that up and be consistent throughout the whole game.
Yeah, old sayings on how you start is how you finish.
Yeah.
And as John just said, sometimes we would start bad, try and fight back the whole way, and then just by that point it's too little, too late. Other times we would start off strong, but then
get comfortable.
Get comfortable and then fall off towards the end. So it's just a matter of just keeping that same mentality throughout the entirety of the game, entirety of the innings, this time the third, and they've done it 1,000 times. They've done it 1,000 times. It's just a matter of just executing game in and game out.
Yeah, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And as Jonathan said, the Ambassadors are currently taking on Voorhees in the last game of this 3-game series.
Believe it, y'all.
And
sir.
Hopefully they're winning. I don't have any stats right now, but hopefully they're getting that dub as they go into the playoffs. And this will actually turn out to be the last game of the season, of the regular season for the Oakwood Ambassadors, as the Alabama A&M game got canceled. And I guess I didn't get a chance to back up my words.
Yes, you and Jaden Barney.
So hey, maybe I'm saved. Maybe A&M saved.
Yeah.
But, the Ambassador season will come to an end today. It's been a great season, and we wish the Ambassadors luck going into the postseason.
Welcome to the first rendition of the ASN NBA Award Show, where we don't talk about the MVPs, the Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year. We don't talk about stuff like that. We talking about the Dat Boy Nice Award, the Disappointment of the Year, the Michael Porter Never Swing the Rock Award, and the Dunk of the Year. So first up, we have the That Boy Nice Award. My personal picks are Brandon Williams and Bones Highland. The That Boy Nice Award is like, if you're watching the game, you're like, oh, that boy can hoop. That boy got some wiggle to him. But their stats don't really compare.
Don't really show, but it's like they're like a good one-on-one type
they
street
pass,
ball.
They pass the eye test.
Okay.
They pass that eye test. So my pick, I say Brandon Williams because he's like Kyrie's little protege.
Okay.
And if you watch the game, you see he moved like him. Got the finishing, got the handle. He's my pick.
Okay, Shane.
I got to go with my guy, Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Okay.
Really the player of the year for the Atlanta Hawks, 20 points per game, but not even focusing on the points or the stats or anything. This guy, like you said, that boy nice, man. Come on, like, I forgot what the play was. It was a couple games ago. He did that little, I don't know if I could recreate on camera, that little back. I was like, yo, okay. I didn't even know he had it in his bag. So
He said that boy nice, huh?
Yeah, that boy nice.
That boy nice.
Shoot, I was about to say something crazy. I tell you not. I was sitting down watching the game. I was like, yo, that boy nice. I literally said the word. So I got to go with my guy, Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Okay, I think I won't hit on it too long because those are some great picks, and I won't steal any of them. But I gotta go with my guy Jaden Hardy, man. Me and Jonathan is crazy. We were actually talking about this a few days ago, and he was like, "You know who's nice? Jaden Hardy." I said, "That boy is nice." So I was like, "No, Jaden Hardy. I believe he's on the Bulls now. When he gets playing time, especially back when he was on the Mavericks, you just watch his game. He didn't get a lot of, but when he was in microwave, you couldn't say nothing else but." That boy nice. All right, what's next?
Next up, we got the Disappointment of the Year. My pick, I got Miles Turner. He was supposed to be the big pickup for the Bucks. I know the Bucks are usually an upper echelon team, but Miles Turner, his production has gotten down with more opportunity. When he was at the Pacers, he was a perennial all-star.
Okay. He was maybe an all-star.
Less level. I'm talking about
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, he was producing. He was a high-level producer. His numbers have now regressed on the Bucks with more opportunity.
Okay.
Closing the book, huh?
So for that reason, Miles Turner, he's my pick.
Who you got, Shane?
Got to go with my guy, the former Cleveland Cavalier himself, Mr. Darius Garland.
Here we go.
And when you look at the past couple years, you see Donovan Mitchell, right? This guy, Darius Garland, was supposed to be the Kyrie Irving to the LeBron James in Cleveland. Right, and instead he got traded for a vet in James Harden, and when he's gone to a team that really doesn't have anything, like he has a chance to excel and get his stats back up. He's put up 18 points per game, which isn't bad, but going into the draft, when Darius Garland was picked out of Vanderbilt as a top 10 pick, he was expected to be the next superstar in the league, the next Trae Young to be exact, right? And all he's done is got traded and, been disappointed. So I got to go with my guy, Darius Garland.
I'm not even going to try and combat that. I'm going to stick on topic with the segment. And my biggest disappointment of the year, it might be low-hanging fruit. It's got to be Anthony Davis, man. Anthony Davis. This is a guy who they traded for Luka Doncic. Like Shane said, Anthony Davis, 40-year-old knees. And the 40-year-old knees came back to bite him because it was just like he just couldn't never stay healthy, like Shane had said a whole while back. Could never stay healthy. And then on top of that, he got traded to the Washington Wizards. Let me guess, did he play over there? No, because he can't stay healthy. Anthony Davis, all the talent is there. He just got to stay healthy, and because of that, he's my disappointment of the year.
And next we got the Michael Never Swing the Rock Porter Jr. Award. My pick for this award, I got Anthony Edwards. Because he plays 35 minutes a game. He's normally their primary ball handler, and he only averages 3 assists a game. As a primary ball handler, I know he's a scorer. He's a score-force player, but like when you have the ball in your hand, you got people around you. You got to average more than 3 assists a game, my guy. Not much to say. That's all I got.
Yeah, I know. Forget the 8 assists a game. I gotta go with my guy, Mr. Luka Doncic, and let me explain why. Right?
Yeah.
When you got LeBron James, the so-called GOAT, you got Austin Reeves. Can I say it on air? Nah, I'm not gonna say it. When you got Austin Reeves, one of the best, an all-star in this league, You know, you'd expect a guy like Luka Doncic, which is, you know, basically a 6'7" point guard, to swing the rock to the GOAT or Austin Reeves, an up-and-coming star. But nah, in the clutch, Luka Doncic, when we think of the Los Angeles Lakers, I don't think of LeBron James. Nah, man. I don't think of Austin Reeves or Rui Hachimura or whatever. I think of Luka. I think of Luka Doncic. I want Luka Doncic taking that shot, not LeBron James. And that's why I'm saying, and as he should, he doesn't swing the rock. In the game versus the Houston Rockets a couple of weeks ago, Luka Doncic took over that game. In numerous other games, Luka Doncic has also taken over that game, whereas the fact that he's in MVP discussions, not LeBron James, not Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic.
What you said, you want Luka to take that shot because you think of him when he had the Lakers, yet you have him. You're criticizing him for that. Have him on your Michael Porter Jr. Don't swing the rock.
Oh no. Let me clarify things. This isn't a criticism of Luka Doncic. You know, I think he shouldn't swing the rock, which he already does, and that's a good thing, right? But this is really props to him because not props to him. He's injured now, so it doesn't matter. But you know, Luka Doncic, when he's playing, this Lakers team is an NBA Finals team with him on the floor, and you know it's unfortunate to him and Reeves got.
Lito, your pick.
I just lost brain cells hearing that whole argument.
Hey,
just go to the next. Just go to the next topic. Just go to the next topic.
All right, the last ASN award, we have the dunk of the year. My pick, I got when Anthony Black dunked over the entire Grizzlies organization.
Hey,
on the fast break.
I'm gonna cut Shane off before he goes so I can remember what I have to say. I'm right there with you. Dunking on 4 people. That was crazy.
Thank you.
Shane.
Got to go with Jalen Johnson versus the New York Knickerbockers. Got to go with him, man. Jalen Johnson, probably one of the greatest dunkers of all time, man. Like, this guy is just remarkable. And got to go with him, the dunk versus the Knicks. And hopefully he can do the same thing next week.
It's at the mud. We got Rashad McCants.
Who? Who?
It's at the mud. We got Rashad McCants.
We got Shane Dunkley.
We got Shane Dunkley.
No. I enjoyed the segment. We were gonna get into our upsets, but let's give a little sneak peek for next week's episode. On our upsets of the first round. I got the Spurs. I got the Blazers putting the Spurs on upset alert.
I'm gonna go with the 3-6 matchup out west. I got the Timberwolves upsetting the Nuggets.
I'm also going to go out west. I got the Los Angeles Lakers upsetting the Houston Rockets.
Okay, interesting upset. You guys are going to have to stay tuned to the next episode to hear why we think that. It's been fun. Dalito Kulameka, Eric Reed, Shane Dunkley, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you for watching the Ambassador Sports Network. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and tap that bell so you're notified every time we post.